Hello guys, welcome to this live stream. So in this live stream, I will talk about the three most important concepts in CSS. So while you are learning CSS guys, these three concepts are very much necessary if you want to do well in CSS. The very first thing is CSS box model, which includes padding, margin and border of a particular element. Then we will discuss about the box sizing property which is related to this CSS box model. And lastly, we will talk about margin collapse. So these three important concepts we will discuss. This is also very asked in interview questions as well while you go for front-end development jobs. So first of all, we have this index.html file right here opened inside my Visual Studio Code text editor. So I will basically take some detailed example and show to you. So side by side, I will do my coding and you will see the result on the right hand side. So currently you will see that nothing is showing right here. So if I increase the size of the window, so let's suppose I take a div, and inside this div I will basically give it a class of boxes. Inside this, let me declare a box 1. I will say this is box 1, and I will have the second box 2. So I will say box 2. So you can see basically now we have two boxes out there. If you see, we need to give some CSS to it. So I've already included a file called as style.css. So now I will target, let's suppose box 1, I give it a fixed width of 300 pixel and a height of also 300 pixel. And let's suppose I give it a background color of red. So you can see there is this box here, and I now target the second box and I give the same width 300 pixel and height of also 300 pixel, and the background color, let me change this to green. So there are two boxes, you will see that guys. Now let me just decrease the height to 200 just to see so that you can clearly see. So now let me have some the box model typically says guys, if you right click inspect element, and let me shift this to this one right here, go to elements panel here, and right in the elements panel guys, you can basically select your element, whichever element that you are targeting. So let's suppose in the elements panel, you can, if I show you, let me make these elements side by side. So what I will do is that I will target the container class and I will change this to display flex. So these elements will be in the side by side. So now you can clearly see what is happening. So if I go to elements panel, go into my body, and this is box 1, this is box 2. So if you now go into the this one right here, right hand side, here you can write styles guys instantly and you will see a live preview. So if I select box 1, I can change the background color to any color here. You will see that. So as I refresh the page, the styles will be preserved. So this is basically a very good tool while you can troubleshoot and debug your CSS. So I can basically show you the second property is very important, which is computed. So if you go to the computed section guys, the box model is laid out to you. So basically the box model says that uh, this is the width, how the width is calculated. The actual width of the element that I've given is 300. If you see, this is the width of the element. So this basically calculated, you will see we haven't given the padding right here. Padding is undefined, border is undefined, and margin is also undefined. So these three things are there in the box model guys. This is the actual box, and this is actually called as box model. So this is actually, it is called as box model guys, which comprises margin, border and padding. So now one by one guys, I will show you how it is done. Let me for now just display none. So the box 1, box 2 is not shown to you. So right here in the, here I will target the box 1 and I will give it a padding. let's suppose I give it a padding, I give it a padding of 15 pixel. So now guys, you can see there is a change out there. As I give the padding right here, some space have been added from the inner side. So if I go to the computed property once again, now you will see that the padding becomes 15. You can see that the padding has been added from all the sides. So you can see padding from the left side, bottom side, top side, and the right side. So now I can even add a border as well. Similarly, similar fashion, I can say border 2 pixel solid black. So now guys, you will see right in the edges part right here, the border has been added right here. If you see, if you go to the computed section, basically you will see 1.2, 1.920, which rounds about to 2 border is added right here. You can see that. And you can see that. So this is added right here. And now the last property is margin guys, which basically is the distance, which doesn't include the actual element. Margin is actually the space between outside space. Padding is inwards, margin is outwards. So this is the difference between margin and padding guys. Padding comes within the element, but margin comes outside the element. So let me give the property here, margin, and let's suppose I give it a 25 pixel margin. So as you see guys, basically now we have 25 pixel of margin right here. If you see, 25 pixel is added from the top side, this side, right side, bottom side, and also the left side. So from all the sides, we have added the margin as well. So if you go to now the computed property right here, now if you see, the total width is not 300 guys. Now the total width is calculated using the formula that I'm giving you, which is the actual width of the content, which is 300 plus 15 the top padding and the, so this comes out to be 300 plus 15, which is 315. Then this right padding and left padding. If you go to just let me show you the formula, CSS box model width formula calculation you can write. So in their official website as well, this is actually the formula guys. Width is calculated by adding the border plus padding plus width of the content. You can see that. So basically this is box sizing. So if you don't provide border box, so you can ask this question to chat GPT guys, how this is calculated. So I will say the formula to calculate width of element if we are following the box model. So you will see that basically it will give you the total formula here, content width plus padding plus border plus margin. So margin will also be there guys. You will see that this will be the total width of the element. So similarly, if I go basically here in my computed property, so 300 is the original width that we given to the element, 300 plus 15, 315, and then the border which was 2, 317 plus 300 plus 25. So this will actually come out to be 340. So this is actually the box model guys basically, and the margin comes within the element. This is the inner space that we given to the element. Border is basically, this is the actual border. If you see, it comes in the outer edges that you see right here, and the padding, oh, sorry, margin is the outer space. So if I just basically change this display to, if I just display the second also and don't display flex here, you will basically see here, if I I just need to add this properties, guys. I haven't added, so I just need to give it a padding of 15 pixel and a margin of 25 pixel and a border of 2 pixel solid black. So as you can see, guys, basically we have given all these properties. So now if you go to inspect element and go to the computed section, you will actually see the original width, guys. If I select the box one, you will see original width comes out to be this. You will see it has applied this margin. This is a margin border, and this is actual padding, and this is actual width of the element. So this is essentially the box model, guys. Basically I've explained you in detail, and you can according to your requirement while you are designing website, you can uh, change these values. So now we have different properties as well. You can give padding from the only to the left position. So in this case, the padding will be applied only to the left position. If I select the first box here, so only the padding from the left position will be applied. So the top padding is not there, the right padding is not there, the bottom padding is not there. Only from the left position the padding is applied right here. So in this case, guys, you can see that how it is shaping out basically. Similarly, we have padding right, we have padding bottom, we have padding top. So similarly, we have this for the margin as well, margin top. So if I give margin top, so it will only add the margin from the top position. So we don't have the margin from the bottom position, left position, or right position. So we have these four properties available to margin and padding, guys. If you write like this, it will add the padding and margin from all the four locations. So we also have the border top, border left. If I say border left only, if I increase this value to 6 pixel, so you can see that. So it will only apply the border from only the left position. If you see right here, so this position the border is not applied. So this is essentially the box model, guys. Basically the width is calculated by that formula that I showed you. And now to prevent this actual thing from happening, guys, where we have a property called as box sizing. You can control which thing that you need to use. The property I'm showing you, box sizing, this is the actual property which comes out from the box model. It has two properties. Either you can use two values, either you can use content box, which is a default value. If I just do this, no change will be occurring right here. It will stay the same. It will calculate the width of the element with the same formula that I showed you, but it has a second property, guys, which is border box. You have seen this property used many times by web developers, and basically it is a default property. You have seen CSS written by many developers. They tend to use star sign, and they apply to all the elements this border box, sorry, box sizing property. They change it right here at the top so that it is applied to all the elements in the web page. So why they do that? Because the default behavior that I showed you guys, this box model of CSS is not liked by developers. Because if I just show you now the difference, the computed thing here, if I showed you, now I select. So basically, guys, what happened right here, the this now is the original width is affected by it, as I given the left border out there. So in the box model, the original width was not affected. It was staying 300. But now as I given the padding to 15 from both the sides, and now I have given the left border. So what it means that it will add 264 plus 6 plus 15 plus 15. So it will now result into 300 width. So in this box sizing border box, if I do this, it will basically calculate the width from the inner half, and here the margin is not there in border box. In the box model, while we calculate the width of the element, in the formula we used margin, but in border box, if you see the formula, border box formula for calculating width, if you just type on Google, basically this is the actual formula which comes in. It basically takes the border, whatever border that you have given, plus the padding and plus the width of the content. So here the margin is not there, but in the box model that we discussed earlier on, the formula included the margin. So this is the real difference between box sizing when you give the value of content box or you give border box. So if I just give 2 pixel here from all sides border, so you can see that. So now guys, I will basically explain this difference a little more clearly. I will basically surround this by a div. I will give it an ID of box3. I will say this is box3. Let me say I target this box3 and give it a background of gray and a height of 100 pixel and a width of 900 pixel. So now they are separated. So if you just see now guys what I am talking about, now I will apply the box to some width and height. Let's suppose you can see on the left hand side, this is actually following the, if I change this to border box, so it is actually applying the border box here. If you see, now we are in the box 2, we will apply the content box. So you will see clearly the difference between how the width is calculated and the height is calculated. So here if I default behavior is if I say box sizing, the default value will be content box if I don't give the value. So for this I need to change this rule. So just delete this because it is applying to all the elements. So now if I give margin to 25 pixel, padding to 15, and border 2 pixel, solid black. So what do you see guys, the difference? You can see clearly the difference is there. If you see, let me decrease the height here just to clearly show you the height. Let me change to 100 pixel. Also let me change the height to 100 pixel. So I think now you can clearly see the difference here guys. The box model, the second box is following this box model guys, and you can see how the width has been elongated. The width is now including the padding. It is retaining its original width that I showed you. I given this width, original width, which was 300, but also it is adding on top of it the padding that I given, which was 15 plus the border 2. So that's why this difference is there guys. That's the only difference developers don't like guys, because this is the actual difference it takes. I applied the same margin, same padding and same box border guys. You will see that. Still you can see this clear difference. It totally depends upon your design guys, if you want to use the default behavior or you want to use this property which is border box. I prefer this property border box in all my elements. That's why I apply this as a rule, because I don't prefer this default behavior of browser which includes padding and border and margin to the width of the element. I prefer not to include it. So it totally depends upon the preference of the developer. So this is the real difference guys. And now the third property was margin collapse guys. The third property, margin collapse, is a very important concept in CSS box model. So let me just show you basically. Let me declare box 3. Let me delete that. So let me just change this, delete this border box. So now what we have done, guys, you will see basically in the box 1 we have given margin 25 from all the locations. We are basically giving margin from the top, which is 25 pixel. We are giving from the right position as well, from the bottom position as well, and from the left position. So this is clearly right. Now I move to the second box. We are applying the same things to the second box as well. We are giving margin from all the 4 locations, this, this, this. So have you noticed, guys, one flaw out there? One thing is not clear to me. If we are applying 25 pixel margin to both these boxes from both the locations, from all the location, why this value is only 25? It needs to be double 50 pixel. Why is the case it is only 25? It needs to be 50 pixel because we are applying margin from bottom here and also from top here. So it needs to 25 plus 25 needs to be 50. So why it is only 25? So this is exactly the concept of margin collapse, guys. So margin collapse is a concept that basically uh, whichever margin is greater, we, it will be applied to the element. So this only applies whenever the elements uh, are there one after the other in a vertical position. So this margin will only apply here in this location. So if I change this margin, let's suppose from 25 I make it 35. So the larger margin will be applied. So in between 25 and 35, which value is greater? Obviously 35 is greater. So this margin will be applied, 35 will be applied. So whichever value is greater, guys, that margin will be applied from to both the elements. So now this value is 35 pixel. You can even cross check, go to inspect, go to compute it, and if you select now box 1, so you can see 35 pixel is applied here, not 25. So if I change this to, if I make this margin 55, so now 55 will be applied. You can see that. So 55 is applied, you can see. So this is basically the concept of margin collapse, guys. So these are 3 important concepts that I wanted to discuss with you. Hopefully you have understood. Please hit that like button, guys. Subscribe the channel as well. And I will be seeing you guys in the next live stream.